Okay, this video is on the past perfect simple. Now this is part of a course from brianmcgregor.com. If you go to my website and look at the English revision course, you can find this and some examples that you can try yourself on an interactive quiz. And you have, of course, the other aspects of the English language there to revise and test yourself. So a little bit of revision. Stuff you probably know, but maybe need to clean up a bit because you're making mistakes. So let's go into this presentation here. The past perfect simple is when we have 2 points of time in the past and we want to talk about a previous event and then with a reference time. So we have 2 points of time in the past, one before the other. Now you're probably familiar with the past simple, which is usually when we're just talking about one thing in the past. It can be more. You can use words like before. So before I went home, I wrote the report. But remember that native speakers will use this language pattern. They will use this tense, the past perfect tense, and they do it very commonly. So it's important to understand so that you can tell which event happened first. So we have writing a report is the previous event to going home. Going home is going to be the reference time. Now, when I say reference time, we often use the word when. So when this happened, this was in the past already. So he had written the report when he went home. So first he writes the report, then he goes home. Okay? If I changed it and I said he wrote the report when he went home, that would be confusing. We might think that he goes home and then writes the report. But if we say he had written the report when he went home, we know that he wrote the report before going home. Okay? Again, if we say he wrote the report when he went home, we will assume that when he got home, at that point of time, if I get my mouse over to here, at this point here, he would write the report, but that's not the situation. He wrote it before. Now the sentences can be put the other way around and it means exactly the same. And just watch, you put a comma in there as well. So when he went home, comma, he had written the report. It does not change the meaning of the sentence. This is exactly the same as the first sentence. The two sentences have identical meanings. Just take your pick which one you want to use. Now the format for this is subject, had, and then the past participle. Remember that in English we have 2 versions of the past tense of the verb. So for write we have the past simple, which is wrote, and then we have the past participle, which is written. So we have the subject, he, and then had, and then the past participle, and that's the same here. Now the event that happened first is the one that has the past perfect tense with it. How would we do a question with this? How do we convert this into a question? Well, instead of he had written, you want to change that to had he written. Had he written the report when he went home? Or, in the other sentence, when he went home, had he written the report? So instead of subject had past participle, we want to change that around to had subject and then the past participle. Now go to brianmcgregor.com. You will find there is a course called English Revision. Log into there and then you can do some questions. So we have a quiz first, which will just have statements with the past participle. And then following that, you will have another quiz, which will have question statements. Okay, so you can practice both of those. So go to brianmcgregor.com to give that a try. Take care. Bye-bye.